Friends, we know that there is a port which is supported by India called Chabahar in the southeastern side of Iran, and that was there is an investment of almost 8 billion US dollars by India to develop this port. And this port is very relevant. In fact, it is a port which allows Indian trade links with Afghanistan. Now, as you know, that this was located in this area, and surprisingly, Iran has 90% population on the western side of the country, and there is very little people living inside the eastern side, and that is why this Chabahar port is located in the eastern side of the country. It is not having a lot of relevance for almost like 2 centuries in Iran. And however, the history of Chabahar is very rich. Chabahar was a port which was from ancient time was used for trade with India and also other Gulf countries. And if you look at the location of this Chabahar port, it is the port which is sort of a gateway into Gulf. So it is a very strategic location where the Iran has a capability to, or has a option to trade with countries which are in the Indian Peninsula like Sri Lanka, Mauritius, etc., and also in the Southeast Asian countries. So it's very close for Iran. It opens up a door for Iran to start trading with countries like in the southeastern side of things. And also, the Chabahar is very important for India because, as you know, that in the neighborhood of Chabahar, just 76 kilometers away, inside the Pakistani border, there is a port which was built by Pakistan in partnership with China. In fact, the entire port of Gwadar is owned by China, and China is developing a road network connecting Gwadar with their international road network, which is eventually leading to CPAC. So from the strategic point of view also, Chabahar, which is in Iran, is very important for India so that we can actually also establish a geopolitical strength in that area and also have control on the trade which is happening in the Gulf countries. At the same time, Chabahar has an ancient history of providing support to landlocked countries like Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. However, India wants to establish the trade route up to Russia using Chabahar, and that is why India invested 8 billion US dollars into this port. The port is very big actually. If you look at the port, it's a huge port. It's a very ancient port. It went into disarray in past 100 years, but the relevance of this port was realized, and it was reinitiated in 80s during the Iran-Iraq war. However, the port is big, as I said. Only 10% of the port is being given to India, only one berth for developing it for Indian trade initiatives. And so this is something which is being looked after by India. India actually sent their produce, their raw material or their ready-made products into Afghanistan using this port. And directly there is a highway highway is already there, which supports goods being delivered on this port and goes up to Kabul. And from Kabul, it has the capability to travel all these goods into countries like Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and also up to Russia. So I think this is an important asset for India. And now we have heard that and in fact, there are two things, important things have happened in past few days. One is that even though Pakistan got all the blame of what happened in Afghanistan and Taliban took over, but everything is not hunky-dory between Taliban and Pakistan government. And the second important aspect is that now the China has started feeling the heat of the global backlash. And over the weekend, during an internal meeting in China, Xi Jinping said that it is not China's intention to do any land grabbing or any increase in area in South China Sea or with any neighborhood countries. They don't want any land. They don't want to assert any of these things. So I think it's very, very important that the global backlash has been realized within China, and the president of China himself is making these announcements. That means they're feeling the pressure because of the global backlash. So I think these are the changes that have happened in a geopolitical scenario. At the same time, Afghanistan Taliban government is facing a heat because they have to eventually run the government if they are not holding elections, and they still have to run the government. I mean, having acquired the power, they still need to take care of people. So what we've heard that the Afghanistan is having major issues with regard to running the economy, and they've recently started paying salaries to their government officers so that government officers can return to their desk in their office and run the administration. So I think the signs are very clear. They are interested in resuming trade ties with India, and they have shown interest of running the Chabahar or reinitiating the Chabahar port, because the trade ties are already there between Afghanistan and India. So all the mechanism to transfer supplies from Mumbai to Chabahar and eventually going all the way up to Kabul and beyond is already in place. So the Taliban government has shown interest that they want to reinitiate this whole process of providing supplies through Chabahar port. So people who are making this assumption that the Chabahar investment of India is lost is basically something which was sort of a premature thinking. India will not let go such a strategic port just to go in disarray. So I think this is something which has happened, and is very, very important for India and also for the geopolitical situation in this area. Friends, this is something which I felt I will bring to you for your attention. Do let me know your comments about this subject, and I will meet you in the next one.